Boxing. Do you want to talk about like 2 minutes?
David Coldwell of the Coldwell Gym is starting this conversation off. Go on, Dave.
Go on, David Coldwell of the Coldwell Gym.
So something that grabbed attention this week was Lawrence Okolie. Lawrence Okolie's been out training with Jake Paul.
The GOAT, Jake Paul.
Shut up. He's been out there training with Jake Paul, and he came out with a statement where he said that Jake Paul's better than most boxers out there. I think Jake Paul's improving. I don't know, I just saw that he said that he's better than most of the boxers out there.
So you're saying Lawrence Okolie's a liar?
I'm not saying he's a liar, but I'm saying I think he might have stretched it a little bit because he likes Jake Paul, he likes what he sees. I think Jake Paul's improving, and I think he's taking... Listen, the thing about these YouTubers is that we all slate them when they get into it, or the this or that. They're only getting it because they've got a following. You could turn their act to anything and have a massive following and make shitloads of money because they've got that following there. But if you're somebody that's going to come into the sport and do it properly and train hard, live it right, and really look to improve all the time, go and spar with world champions, sparring with top fighters, if you're doing it properly, then there's no real difference to somebody that walks in off the street and walks into a gym and says, I want to be a boxer. Yeah. There's no real difference apart from
he is improving.
Or not. He is improving. He's improving loads. But I wouldn't say, and he would beat some boxers out there and a lot of boxers out there, but
when you say some boxers quickly, I'm interrupting. Sorry, I know we get...
Real few names. Who's
I'm going to say quick. I have to interrupt here. I have to interrupt. Which boxer are we talking about, David? Are we talking about Tommy Fury? Is that what you're suggesting on this podcast? I think you are.
I think Jake Paul beats Tommy Fury.
Wow. Do you think he beats Tommy Fury? Be honest.
I don't know.
No, Dave.
I don't know.
No, Dave,
honestly.
Dave, you can't have that.
No, but I'll tell you what. Okay, I'll tell you why I don't know. Because Jake Paul's never fought a boxer. So I can't rate him as a boxer because he's never fought a boxer.
Has he fought better opponents than Tommy Fury has already? I agree. I think he has.
Yeah, but Tommy Fury, I know, listen, Tommy Fury's never fought anybody.
That's what I just said.
But he's fighting people that are actually boxers. Come on.
And do you reckon him and Lawrence Okolie are
Do you think Anderson Silva could beat the opponents Tommy Fury's beaten so far?
It doesn't matter A, B beats B and
no, but I'm asking you that question.
That's bullshit. You know that argument don't work in boxing. But what I'm saying is, you can't say yes or no because one man's never fought a boxer and the other man's never fought any real talented fighters like prospects or any. They're both. You know yourself when you turn pro. You've had fighters yourself. They turn pro, you're looking after them, you get them guys that are journeymen, they're there to make them look good, to get their experience up. Tommy Fury's not had a big amateur career, so he's at that level. Jake Paul is at kind of like the same sort of thing, come into it, but he's not fighting journeymen in boxing, he's fighting guys that are basketballers, American footballers,
he's arguably fought better than journeyman, though, isn't he?
That's what I've just said. That's what I've just said. Anderson Silva's better than your average journeyman.
As a boxer?
Yeah, Anderson Silva
as a boxer?
Anderson Silva...
He's 47 years old and he's never boxed.
Yeah, but Anderson Silva and Tyrone Woodley are better than journeymen.
Some journeymen. Not all.
Mate.
Not all. I'll be honest, not all. But anyway, Dave, stop swerving it. If Jake Paul fought Tommy Fury and you had to put your mortgage on it, who wins? I know, but if you had to put your mortgage on it, who wins? We don't sit on fences.
And although, before you answer that question, before he's a world champion and under sparring, how bad is Lawrence Okolie to watch?
No, I disagree. I disagree. I totally disagree.
He's shocking to watch.
No, trust me.
He's effective at what he does.
Yeah, I agree.
And he punches like a
mule.
Lawrence Okolie.
Shocking to watch.
No, Lawrence Okolie.
Is shocking to watch.
No, he's not.
Sorry,
Lawrence Okolie can be brilliant when he wants to be, but he's got the ability to make it the most boring fight you've ever watched in your life and win. Yeah. No, that's
shocking to watch.
No, not all the time. Not all the time.
No, you've got to give him right that. He's just a fan, right? Yeah. So he's not looking at it the purist side of things and the boxing side.
He's watching Isaac Chamberlain and Matty Askin, which was the worst fight I've ever seen.
Yeah, but Isaac Chamberlain, Bill Smith weren't.
That's different.
That was a great fight.
But a lot of fights, yes, because of how his style is. Yeah. But ultimately, he's the man that's in there getting whacked.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he knows he's got that power. He uses his range. He uses his style that suits him very, very effectively. Great. Is it big box office? No. But he's always got that where he can capture interest because no matter how crap the fight can be, no matter how awkward it can be, he's always got that power where he can spot you clean out.
But do you know what he should do what he should 1,000,000% do if he had any sort of brain about him is when he spars Jake Paul, he should literally let him get the better of him, pretend he's not got a clue.
Banjo him in film. I know you're going to say. Typical.
And then be like, because they're the same weight division, and Jake Paul will be like, you know what, he's like chirpy. I've just battered a world champion there in sparring. He'll get the fight, massive money, and then just spark him.
It doesn't work like that. But by the way, I just completely disagree. I've seen Lawrence Okolie spar hundreds of rounds. He's unbelievable. He's an unbelievable talent.
Did I say he was crap?
Lawrence Okolie will move up to heavyweight and cause massive problems.
You're making out I just said he's rubbish.
I'm not saying that, but I know you say he's boring to watch, but he's not always. I'm saying yes, he can not sometimes be pleasing on the eye, but he has the ability to make it very exciting. He just gets the win.
Yeah, I agree.
He just gets the win. He knows how to win, and I know in boxing, listen, of course, it is how you win. It is how you win. You can't have a string. And I know Matty asking the Isaac Chamberlain, I was ringside for that fight. It was terrible. But I'm saying, it is. Shane McGuigan's done good. Did well. I don't know. Yeah, he's not with him anymore.
Is he not?
Well, not. I don't. He's not training there, is he? He's training
just grassed someone up there.
I haven't grassed anyone up. I haven't grassed anyone.
Just grassed you up.
Doing a bit of training.
Lawrence,
okay.
He's grassed you up.
All right then. Well, if he's there, if he's still with Shane. I'm saying Shane deserves credit because he's done well. He's done well with Lawrence.
Tommy Fury does he be like? We don't want to talk about it because it's boxing. Everyone says, I don't want to talk about that.
So my problem with Tommy Fury is, he's a professional boxer that talks in interviews and says that he wants to become a world champion, right? But he's chasing a YouTuber, so he's chasing the clout, he's chasing the money. Quick payday for that.
Do you not think he just wants to chase that one payday and then move on to back to boxing? Tommy's doughed up. He's got plenty of dough.
I know, yes, but he's going to get stupid dough if he fights him. So I understand that. But what I'm saying is, he's wanting to become a world champion himself, and so in order to do that,
is he though?
He needs to progress.
Does he though?
He says he does. He can do a lot of other things other than box.
Yeah, he's got a great setup. He's got everything in front of him. He chooses to be a boxer, and he chooses to say that he wants to become a world champion.
Does he beat him,
If
Dave?
you're choosing to want to become a world champion, don't chase a YouTuber.
Does he beat him, Dave?
I don't know.
Dave,
Sam,
come on.
I don't know.
David,
I've told you why.
You've got to give a prediction. I'm saying to you, if they fought next week, who wins the fight in your opinion? You're a knowledgeable fella. You're a world championship winning trainer. Who wins?
I'd say with Tommy Fury, I think.
Yeah, me too. I think Tommy wins, but I think that
he stops him.
Because he's fought.
Yeah, I do. I think he chins him
because he's fought real fighters.
He's grown up with it.
Yeah.
He's grown up with it. We can't. I know you get caught up on it, and Tommy's not looked the best in the last couple of fights, but he's literally grown up with boxing, with the best heavyweight in the world. He's not losing to Jake Paul. I don't believe so.
I don't think he does.
I really don't believe so. I think he chins Jake Paul. I think he
Jake
renders
Paul,
him
yeah.
I think he renders him.
I think Jake Paul beats him.
Amazing.
Based on the fact that he's fought no fighters in a 47-year-old Anderson Silva.
I'm basing that on the fact that I know fuck all about boxing.
Right, that's a good start.
And I've seen all of Tommy Fury's fights, and in my opinion, he don't look very good at the minute. And that's just...
It's a fair enough opinion, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen Jake Paul's fights, and at the start, I thought it was the biggest gimmick ever.
Which one where you looked at it and thought it was great?
Gib.
Which one where you looked at it and thought it was great?
Ben Askren was like a crab, by the way.
Which one did you look at him and you thought it looked great?
No, I didn't think he looked great in any of them. His second Woodley fight, and this one against Anderson Silva, he looks to me like he can actually box.
I'm not saying he can't.
And clearly can whack.
No, but what we're saying is, I'm not speaking on his behaviour. Yeah, he's not fought a boxer.
He's not fought a boxer.
Not one.
You're going on Silva. Silva's 47 years old, ex-MMA, not a boxer.
He sparked out your man in the last fight, though, didn't he?
It's like saying, isn't
Julia
it?
Chavez
It's like
Jr.
saying Andy Murray having got to go and beat the ping pong world champion.
Who?
It's
What's
like
his name? Chavez Jr. Is that who he fought in the last fight?
He's a man that his dad's embarrassed about. Because he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about boxing. Yeah, but he doesn't give a shit about his boxing.
It's actually not a bad point to be fair.
No, but he doesn't give a shit about it. But he doesn't give a shit about what he's doing.
Dave Coldwell from Coldwell's Gym, yeah? I've just said...
It's true. That's Sheffield Wednesday.
You said he's never beat a boxer yet. He's fighting a 50-million-year-old Anderson Silva who sparked out an ex-world champion in his last fight.
He's actually got a good point. I actually forgot completely about the fact Anderson Silva beat Pooley.
Knocked him out.
Yeah. But did Jake Paul beat him?
I've got you two on toast here.
Did Jake Paul beat him? Has Jake Paul boxed a boxer? Has he fought a boxer? There you go, rest my case. Done, he's never boxed.
Do you believe BJ Flores, you beat him?
BJ Flores is a brilliant coach, by the way.
Yeah, good coach.
Very good coach.
You know him.
Doing a great job on him.
That's what I'm saying, but
he's not fought a fighter yet.
You know him well because when you beat him with Bellew. But he's going to have Jake Paul sparring good guys. No.
Has he fought anybody yet?
I don't know. Do you think this is a question?
I could bring you into my gym. You could spar with professional fighters. Me and him could hook you with some sparring partners, professional fighters, good fighters, and say, "Oh, you sparred good guys. Does that make you a good fighter?"
No, but my point is...
people do that in boxing, don't they? Do you know, like, I've sparred him,
Do you think he'd come... Well, he would come out and say it, but do you think he'd come out and be like... Do you think he'd put him in all these fights if he didn't think he could win?
What
I know
fights?
it's for... Like,
what fights?
No, but he's trying to, they're trying to get big fights out of him.
Trying to get what fight? Just fight a professional fucking boxer.
Yeah, fight one.
Fight one professional boxer,
one.
and then let's rate you against a professional boxer.
Who could you put him in with?
What's his record now? Because I don't know.
6 or 7 and 0, isn't he?
6 or 7 and 0. Right, so if he's 6 or 7 and 0, and Tommy Fury's what, about 10, something like that, is it?
Fight Andrew Flintoff, he's 1 and 0.
Well, I seen on Twitter today that he's fighting that Andrew Tate fella, Jake Paul, next.
Well, there you go. He's not a boxer.
Not a boxer.
So if you want to be, if you want to be taken seriously as a boxer, fight the boxers. It doesn't have to be a world champion straight away. Fight boxers. As a normal kid that comes into a gym and wants to become a fighter, wants to become a champion, dreams of it, they go up in levels. Boxing German, boxing fellow.
He's called out Floyd Mayweather.
Boxer fellow prospect that's 7 and 0. That's actually a boxer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's also fighting people a lot lighter than him as well.
And by the way, a little thing that just came to my head there that we weren't going to talk about, but it's just come to my head now because he's on about professional boxers. It's a good fight. Eubank, Liam Smith.
Good fight. Yeah, really good
fight.
Yeah.
I forgot to say that earlier.
Look forward to
Quality
that
fight.
Is that announced or not?
No, it's not
finished.
It's close to I've read.
Yeah.
Well, your sources are better than mine.
How many fights we read over nearly there?
No, I know.
Boxing at the moment is not covering itself in glory with fights.
Spence Crawford.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like fights.
Did you see the video Crawford put out?
Yeah.
It's good, really good. Have you listened to it all?
Which one?
Where he explains why.
Yeah, and I understand.
It looks bad for Spence.
I understand it because what Crawford's saying is a fact. Errol Spence has an advisor and a manager. Crawford is his own manager and his own advisor. Do you understand what I mean? He's his own boss.
If this fight was with Matchroom, it'd have been done, wouldn't it?
No. If Crawford was with Matchroom, if Crawford was with Matchroom, and it's still the PBC don't like Eddie.
Yeah.
They don't. They just don't like him.
That's the problem.
The PBC do like to keep like in-house kind of fights.
It's never happening, then, is it?
No, I think it will. I think it
don't
will.
know.
I think it has to.
But does it happen too late?
But I do think as well, Crawford and Spence. Listen, I've got to make sure my words are like proper here, but we know it's a massive fight.
Yeah, but to the general public.
But to the general public,
hardcore fans.
Ryan Garcia against Tank Davis is a commercially.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. Right.
No, you are.
It's a much bigger fight. It's a much bigger fight commercially with the fan bases.
I'm more interested in Garcia.
Trade fight. It's the best in boxing to be made. Yes or no, Dave? Yeah. Spence against Crawford. That's the fight we want to see. Another great fight.
I'm on about just trade fights between them.
Trade fight, great fight. Bivol wins that fight, but it's a great trade fight.
I think Bivol wins that fight.
But you're right, Garcia versus Tank is
a monster.
the biggest fight in boxing.
It is a monster.
Tank splashes him. I think Tank splashes him.
I agree, but I think it'll be a good fight.
Good fight, yeah.
Okay, can I give you my opinion on it?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to tell you my boxing analysis on it, which could be miles wrong, because I actually want to ask you. How does Tank get into range with Garcia and avoid his power?
Fast, and he's got a brain.
Do you know the question I'm asking though?
Yeah, I understand.
That left hook and that jab is ridiculous.
But then if you talk like that, then really every fast, tall fighter wins. But he don't.
He's not just fast though. He's ridiculous.
Ryan Garcia is a brilliant fighter, but I just think
and can ban.
Yeah. I think it'll be really touch and go. And I just think Tank will get into range once. I think it's
Garcia just seems so confident though, doesn't he?
Everyone's confident to get
I know
whacked.
that.
Mate, Tank can punch.
But he's calling for this like Garcia, and I don't do you know with this? Where is that in his career?
It's Leo Santa Cruz, by the way. I still think about it some days randomly.
Here's what you need to do: go and watch Davis box. Right?
I've seen him.
Forget about his power. Go and watch him box.
He's patient.
He's faster than what you think. He's got a good IQ
and he's nasty as well.
And then when he gets into that range, mate.
He sometimes gives rounds away though.
Yeah.
I want to see that fight. I really want to see that fight.
It's a good fight. It's a good fight. That is a fight that's exciting. And like you said, Garcia can punch, and Garcia could rattle Tank. Not a problem. But
Well, Tank's not really been hit yet, has he?
Yeah, we have. He's been hit, and he's been rocked a little bit. That what's his face he fought last time out?
Rolly Romero.
Yeah, he
Rolly
caught
can
him and he
punch,
hit him.
by the way.
He can really punch.
Roly-poly.
And
Can dig.
And he rode it out. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. He's patient. He knows how to walk you into traps. It's a good fight, but I do think that Tank Davis knocks him out.
But I'm fed up of seeing that it's like, it's getting done in January or December, and then you see, he's linked with Abner Mares or whatever. It's
He's
like,
not fighting
I'd rather
Abner
fight
Mares.
Riyad Mahrez than
He-
Abner Mares.
He's come out and said it's not. But no, fights in boxing, I said it the other week, they've got to start happening because people, like fans, like even as like we're fans
Even
or
we're-
anything,
we
we
were in it
want
and
to
it's
see these fights happen. It's so frustrating.
Annoying,
It's
yeah.
so annoying.
Do you know what as well? Because I don't want to talk about UFC because we don't know anything about it.
No, you
But
don't,
see-
please don't
No, I'm
say
not- I'm not-
please. It drives me
But
nuts.
you see the UFC and there's world champion fighting world champion every single
it's all under one house,
there's
all under one roof.
But that's my point though.
No, if boxing was all under one roof, they wouldn't get paid as what they get
my
paid. All
point
these
is-
UFC fighters want to come to boxing and get a
Because
proper
they're not getting
payday.
paid.
No, but my point is that's the way it should be though.
I understand. Yeah, the method's great, but that's the reason why. If it's all kept under one roof,
The problem is all the different promoters. It's all about their vested interest.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and they're all their egos. That's what the problem is.
In an ideal world, all
because
the
at the end of the
promoters wanna
day,
work, yeah.
just make the fucking fights. That's it. Just make the fight. If the fighters want to fight, the promoter. People forget this. The promoter works for the fighter.
Yeah.
But they tilt it round so it seems as though the promoter is the boss.
do you think
and that's the
Eddie's-
problem?
do you
Because
think-
the promoters are paying the wages, they're the ones that are basically seen as the boss. But
Do you think Eddie Earn's serious when he says he's spoken to Shelley Finkel about
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder against AJ?
Eddie is now not suffering from the consequences of how he acted when he went into America and started splashing his checkbook out, but like. The Americans have all got the ump with him, like your Leonard Ellaby's, the Al Haymans, because he went in there and says, I'm going to basically take over boxing, and they all kind of, it's almost obvious they
But it
kind of
made
want
that-
to...
initially that made the splash for him.
Yeah, they wanted to kind
But
of...
it also made him a marked man.
They made him a marked man, put him in a corner, we don't want to help him, but like ultimately now Eddie thinking, right, I want to make these fights happen. I genuinely believe Eddie wants to make these big fights happen, but they're all basically thinking, fuck off.
He wants to, but he needs to, because obviously for DAZN.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Like, we need to make these fights.
You've got to look at the Joshua Fury situation. I'm not going to go massively into it again, but there is absolutely zero reasons why that fight couldn't have happened then. There's no better, like, the Zone were up for it, BT were up for it. It's to do with a promoter not wanting it or a fighter not wanting it, bottom line.
Well, AJ came out the other day and said physically he wanted to fight.
I believe
but
that.
his advisors
basically
said
fair
no.
enough.
So
The problem is
that's
he's in
obvious
a no-win situation, because when I worked on that show when he boxed Usyk, and then I remember when he
Was it in
just
Saudi?
started. It was in Saudi, but I was at Sky Studios.
Oh, okay.
And when he started unraveling and started quitting, you saw him literally have a bit of a mini breakdown, right? So then we're all saying, listen, he needs to go. He needs to have a rest. But then just because Fury pops up and says, I'm ready for this fight now, then everyone's saying, oh no, he needs to be fighting it. What happens? Hang on a minute, this kid needs a rest
having
to
a break,
just
yeah.
get away from boxing and get his head straight before he even thinks about it.
I agree with
all
that.
All of a sudden then, all the pressure became, he needs to take the fight, and that's it. And then because the fight didn't happen, this, and then you're blaming people for the fight. But it's nothing changed from the fact that the end of that last fight wasn't right. It wasn't right. It shouldn't have happened. There was something going off there that needs addressing before he goes into another fight. So I'm actually happy that he's now talking about having rest a year off and then getting back into training in January or whatever, and then off we go. He works, so regardless of whether you rate him, whether you like him or whatever, whether you're Team Matchroom or Fury or whatever
Fights
you are,
everyone, doesn't he,
right?
Joshua?
He is somebody that he's a role model for how fighters should keep themselves in shape. As soon as he's fought, he's back in, he has a bit of a break, he's back in, he's training, goes on holidays, training, ticking over and trying to improve. I like that about him. But then, when it comes to a point when he needs a bit of a break, if anyone deserves a break, he deserves a break, because he's had things mapped out his own way because of the Olympics and everything, but he's been learning on job. The problem is you get an opportunity early for a world title, and this is another thing that pisses me off right now about these young prospects, right? Everybody wants a young prospect to be world champion in fucking 10 fights just because Lomachenko was doing it, right? And the problem is they get rushed through because they're looking good against journeymen and against faded fighters. So it's like, oh no, he needs to be fighting better fighters than that now. And they're rushing him through. And then if they get an opportunity, AJ gets an opportunity against Charles Martin.
Got to take it.
Take it. You become world champion. But the problem is then he's stuck there. He can't. It's not about learning. He's in the real fight. It's
about defending your titles
under the spotlight. Now, not everybody's an AJ. You've got, and you'll vouch this with all different promoters. There is a cluster of prospects that are good fighters that could be really good fighters in the future. The old way of bringing through fighters was. To get top rank, have always been brilliant at it.
Yeah, very good.
Bring the right fighters at the right time and just build them up. There's no rushing about him. Build them up. Forget Lomachenko. That's what he wanted straight away. But build them up. Learning fights. A little bit of a test. A little bit of a test. A little bit of a test. And then let them off at leash. These days, it's like you're 7 fights in, 8 fights in. Oh, he needs to be fighting for a title.
But you know, as a fan, like how do you like? So you know when you see like these upsets and that.
Yeah.
When you're putting somebody in for a little bit of a test, how do you know that that's not going to be too easy, or they're going to get like it's the right fight for them? Do you know what I mean?
Because problem is, BoxRec these days, people just look at records.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't look at the actual fighters.
Like Lara and Warrington, obviously.
Yeah, they don't look at. Yeah, but to be fair, Lara, the Mexicans said Lara was trash.
By the way, I watched Lara on the pads.
He's ridiculous.
No, he was. It's the worst I've ever seen anyone hit the pads that day. But watching him hit the pads, it was awful. Like I hit the pads better than Lara.
But the Mexicans around him were all saying, "Well,
eating
that fight,
a pizza as well.
He's not very good.
Smashing a pizza.
He's not even best in his gym. This, easy fight." And the guy turned out to be an absolute monster. This is boxing. That's what
like
can happen.
Golovkin. Featherweights.
But anyway, listen, that was good. Good chat.
Well, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah,
we'll be back on in the next couple of weeks, so
yeah,
it won't be as long as the last time. With
hopefully a good guest next one.
A really good guest.
Really good guest next time. First guest. It's not Dean Windass, Josh's dad.
No. If you ever ring me during the podcast again, I'll flatten you.
Yeah.
And hopefully, mate, you get us somewhere that we don't get
back in Josh's gaff.
What's your thoughts on this top, Dave?
I actually thought when he come running out of the hotel to let me in, I actually thought I was looking for a rucksack. I thought it was like coming out of the army or some sort of army training.
Why is David from the Coldwell gym giving me stick about my fantastic
how
script?
old are you? Just a question.
How old do you think I am? Don't be stupid.
31.
There you go. I'm a bit older than that, but yeah.
35.
34 next month.
You're 34 years old wearing a football top.
Yeah, it's fast. It's loungewear.
You wear one every week.
It's loungewear. You wear everyone every week.
I was going to say shoot then, but no.
It's been a loungewear. You said yourself, don't lie. That's one of the best strips you've ever seen.
I didn't say that.
You're a liar. You're a bear.
nice
Sheffield Wednesday. He's lying. He's lying. Barefaced lie. Swear on your life you didn't say that then.
I swear on my life,
You
I never said
liar.
them exactly.
He's
I
lying.
said that's a proper nice kit.
You're going straight to hell for lying.
I said that's a proper nice kit.
Yeah, it is. And the Derby are going to smash Wednesday in a couple of weeks' time.
It is in a couple of weeks. Do you want to come?
Yeah, do you want to come? Sit with me in my seats. Yeah?
Dave's son's over there.
Right,
do you want to come?
Do you want to come? Right above the tunnel. Lovely job. Watch him get absolutely smashed.
Yeah, it'll be a good game, that.
Yeah, top game.
And if I score...
Oh, Sam's got to do a forfeit if you score.
I'm going to celebrate right in front of him.
It's just above the tunnel, and if you do that, I will run on the pitch and flying kick you.
You'll be banned for life.
I'm going to come...
You'll be banned for
It'll be
life.
worth it, though, wouldn't it?
I'm going to run.
Really?
If I spin kick him...
I'm going to run to the tunnel and just give it that one. And if we lose, I'll never speak to you again.
Yeah, we're off the podcast.
Right, let's go.
Nice one, guys.
Cheers.